Hey crypto fans, my name is Garrett and welcome to Altcoin Radar. Today guys, I'm going to show you guys my super simple and very easy to follow RSI and MACD crypto trading checklist that I've been using for the last 3 years. So guys, if you're brand new to the channel and you think you might enjoy the content that I create, then go ahead and make sure to subscribe to the channel and go ahead and give this video a thumbs up because it helps me out, why not, right? And also guys, feel free to go ahead and follow me here on Twitter as well. You can find the link to it in the description below this video. I like to talk about altcoins, NFTs, day trading strategies, all kinds of good random crypto stuff on a daily basis. So if you guys are into that sort of thing, you might as well go ahead and give me a follow. All right guys, so just to start this off with you guys, I'm not a day trader, okay? I don't day trade. I don't have time for it. I just simply don't have time to be sitting here and staring at charts on a daily basis, okay? So I'm more of a long-term position slash swing type trader, okay? I'm usually in and out of trades within, I might buy in one day and then I might sell, maybe 7 days later, or sometimes I'll sell 3 days later, or sometimes I'll sell 2 weeks later. It really all depends on how the trade looks overall. But I'm going to go through and I'm going to show you the checklist that I personally use, the checklist that I made about 3 years ago. And realistically, show you exactly how I do things and how I trade pretty much. Now, this is not a set in stone guaranteed trading strategy or anything like that. I'm not promising you that you're going to go off and make $1 billion using this or anything like that. I'm just simply showing you guys what I use and what has worked for me in the past, okay? So we're going to go ahead and check it out. What you're going to need for this, you guys, is you're going to need a TradingView account, okay? So if you don't know what TradingView is and you're brand new to cryptocurrency, because here's the thing, you guys, not everybody is experts out there, okay? You can't expect everybody to know exactly what you're talking about. So for those of you who are brand new, you're going to want to go to tradingview.com. You can see it right here. And then you want to make an account at tradingview.com. And then what you want to do is you simply want to start adding cryptocurrencies to your watch list. And what you'll do is you'll come over here on the right side. You'll see this plus marker. You'll click it. Let's say you want to add Bitcoin to the list. This is what it should look like at the beginning. If you want Bitcoin to the list, depending on what exchange you use, you'll type in BTC USD and you will find whatever exchange you're on, and you'll just click the plus sign right next to it. Since I'm on Coinbase, I click the plus sign right next to Coinbase and it has added it to my list over here. So that's pretty much the gist of it. That's the basics of it. I don't want to get too much into the details because it's going to take up too much time. So we want to get into the actual basis of the video here. All right, guys. So what I want to show you guys is I want to show you exactly how I do things here. Now, this checklist, it's not set in stone, like I was saying. This is just how I do things and how I've been doing things for the last 3 years, and it's worked out great for me. I've made some pretty great profits from it. I've honestly never lost a trade, and I don't see a reason to change my strategy whatsoever. So let's go ahead and check this out, you guys. So I'm literally going to take you through my exact checklist, literally step by step. Okay, so this is going to be great. I love doing this kind of stuff. I love helping people. So this is a lot of fun for me. I get excited about this kind of stuff. So guys, all you need is RSI and MACD indicators, okay? So what you want to do is, if you're not familiar with TradingView yet, and you're brand new to it, what you want to do is you want to go to the indicators here, up here. After you set up your account and stuff, you need to go to indicators and you want to type in RSI, okay? RSI stands for Relative Strength Index. I don't have time in this video. I'm not going to spend the time to explain what a Relative Strength Index means or what it is. Just know that you need it, okay, for this specific checklist, okay? So you literally just click it and then it will show up right down here. And what you want to do is hover over where it says RSI right here and click on this gear icon. And what you want to do is on the inputs, you want to make sure the length is set to 14. And then you'll click on style and you want to make sure the upper band is 70 and the lower band is set to 30, okay? So those lower bands and upper bands, what I'm talking about here is this is the upper band, it's set at 70, and this is the lower band, it's set at 30. Basically what they mean in the grand scheme of things, you guys, is the 70 line, at the 70 line pretty much means that, the current conditions are overbought, okay? Or wait, no. Yeah, it means that everything's are overbought, okay? It means the current trend is overbought and it needs to start dropping in order to start correcting, okay? And that's generally just how things work. And the same thing is true with the bottom one. The bottom one means things are oversold and it needs to start going up and it needs to start correcting itself upwards. So it can stay within, stay within the current channels that it's been trading in. Now guys, as you can see here, you can see exactly how that works. A lot of the times it goes to the top where it's oversold, and then where it's overbought, and then the market starts to go down and correct itself back down to the areas of where it's oversold, and then it'll start going up again. And that's usually generally how it works, you guys. That's pretty much the gist or the basics of RSI. Okay, now as far as MACD goes, that's the next indicator you need. So you go up to indicators again, and you will type in MACD, okay? Just all one word. It stands for Moving Average Convergence Divergence. Again, I'm not going to explain what it is or anything like that. Just click on it, and then it will show up down here, okay? Now what you want to do is hover over it, go to the gear icon, and you just simply want to go to Inputs right here, and you want to make sure that all of these numbers match the same, okay? Fast length, 12, slow length, 26, signal smoothing, 9, okay? It's as simple as that. That's all you got to make sure. And then click OK. And then it should look like this, okay? Or it'll probably be different colors. I personally made my colors a little different because my eyeballs suck, and it's easier to look at certain colors. So that's why I've got mine as pink and white here. Plus it matches my brand pretty nicely too, so hey, why not? All right, anyway. Now that we are at this point, you guys, now I can get into the actual checklist and start showing you guys exactly how I do things, okay? Now this is going to get pretty interesting, all right? So I am a pretty methodical person, so I will do my best to explain this with in much detail as I possibly can, okay? So for buy-ins, the very first thing that I am doing, you guys, is since I usually trade Bitcoin, and the reason why I normally trade Bitcoin, you guys, is because Bitcoin always has plenty of volume, okay? I trade Bitcoin because it's always got plenty of volume, and it's easy to trade. It really, really is, and it's always easy to trade because it's got volume all the time. It's got a lot of volume all the time. I know you can trade a bunch of altcoins and stuff like that, but I don't try to actively trade the altcoins because they're a lot more risky than Bitcoin as far as regular trading goes. I treat the altcoins as pretty much long-term long-term hold positions. I buy into altcoins that I personally feel are going to do well long-term, and I hold on to them for years and years and years and years and years, and I take my profits and I basically reinvest into these altcoins for the long-term until, they go up and whatever. So, but that's beside the point. We are talking about trading Bitcoin right now. So obviously, I trade Bitcoin, so that's why I say if trading Bitcoin right here. So the first thing I do is I check where Bitcoin currently is on the RSI indicator on the 1 day, the 1 week, and the 1 month charts, just to get an overall general sense of, which direction Bitcoin is heading in the midterm, okay? So we're going to do that real quick, all right? So here we are. We are on the Bitcoin daily chart, okay? I generally trade based off of the daily chart. Again, guys, because I prefer to trade, I prefer to trade on the long-term swings rather than the short-term, 1 hour swings, I guess you could say. It's just much easier. It's what I've got time for, and yeah, it's just easier for me. So here's what you're going to do, all right? As far as step 1, we want to see which direction Bitcoin is overall going. So obviously we can see here on the daily chart, we can see that Bitcoin wants to start heading upwards, okay? Where the market currently is right now at the time of me filming this video. The market currently wants to head upwards. We can see from the RSI, like we talked about earlier, we can see on the RSI that, things are kind of oversold and they've been kind of down here for a while, and it naturally wants to get pushed upwards. And if it does, you guys, it will push from here up to here somewhere. And when it goes up to here somewhere, it will show on the RSI as well. It will be closer to the 70 mark, which is where it was in the last time it went up as well. It'll show up there indicating that it's overbought pretty much. Or sorry, yeah, overbought. Yeah, I always get the two mixed up. So that's pretty much the general gist of that, you guys. Now what I'll do is, so that obviously on the daily chart, it definitely wants to go up, okay? So I will now move to the 1 week chart. So I'll move to the 1 week chart and see where it's at on the 1 week chart. Now I know it's kind of hard to see, it's kind of confusing, whatever. But as we can see from the 1 week chart, we look at it here on the 1 week chart on the RSI, and we can clearly see that it also wants to go up on the 1 week chart as well, okay? And we can also see from the MACD that it wants to go up as well. But I haven't really explained MACD too much yet, but I will in a minute here. But as far as RSI goes, we can still see that it's clearly oversold and it wants to naturally start moving up a little bit, okay? I'm not saying it's going to moon or it's going to start turning bullish and go to $80,000 or something like that. That's not me, okay? We're talking about regular trading here. So realistically here, this is the 1 week. Now, if we move over to the 1 month chart, we get a little bit of a different story, okay? Now, I apologize for all these. I can't help that because I've got these on my daily chart, but the price is somewhere around in here, obviously. It's where this pink line is. But we can see based on the chart, on the 1 month chart, so each of these candles represents 1 month, we can clearly see that it is still oversold or overbought, okay? And it's overbought and it naturally wants to drop down, okay, which is normal. So on a longer term basis, it's going to drop down further, and we can clearly see that. And we can also see that from the MACD as well. As far as the MACD goes, we can clearly see that it just recently had, it's had a lot of bullish momentum for the longest time. Now it's going down. It needs to go down, and it needs to drop down a lot. And you're going to understand why I'm saying this briefly here or shortly here when I talk about it, about, the next steps in my overall checklist here. So that's the 1 day, 1 week, 1 month. So we can tell overall long term that Bitcoin wants to drop down far, okay? It definitely needs to drop. It wants to drop. You can clearly see it on these indicators. I mean, it's there. So on the weekly and in the short term or in the midterm, it definitely wants to go up, which is, natural. These are just natural formations and natural corrections that happen on a regular basis in this market. So obviously that's why I've got these lines here. This is my trend, my current trend that I'm following, obviously. And if obviously it should go all the way up to the line and then start dropping down again or drop down even further, which is what we were just talking about. So now let's move on to number 2. Okay, so we know where it's going to go in the midterm. We know that it wants to go upwards, even just a little bit midterm, okay? So we'll move on to number 2. If RSI is oversold on the 1 day chart at 50 or below, so if RSI is oversold on the daily chart on RSI 50 or below, which is where it's at right now, check the MACD to see if volume is good enough and if the lines are about to cross. So we are going to check the MACD to see if the volume is good or not and if the lines are about to cross. Now, guys, we can clearly see that, the red lines basically mean that, the trend is currently moving downwards, okay? That's pretty much what that means. And the bigger the bar, the more volume there is. The smaller the bar, the less volume there is, okay? And when the lines start to cross, that means that the trend is pretty much about to change, okay? So if they cross, it's either going to start going up, or if they cross, it's going to start going down, okay? It just depends where it's at. Obviously, right now, since it was already red, it looks like it wants to eventually cross and go upwards and switch to green, okay? Just like you see here in all these other ones. It stopped here, it crossed over to green, and the lines crossed, and there you go, it started going up again. So as we can see here, you guys, it definitely wants to cross right here, okay? We can clearly see it. Both conditions have been met. It's currently oversold, or it's currently oversold and definitely needs to or wants to start going up again naturally, okay? And we can see it on the MACD as well. So we will move on to number 3, okay? If the lines are about to cross and switch from red to green, wait until the first green bar opens up and make sure the crossing lines are below the bars as well. Now, here's what I mean by that, you guys. What I mean by this is you want to wait until these lines actually make the cross, okay? They have to actually cross, and they have to start printing that very first green bar, okay? That's pretty much confirmation to know that it's going to start going upwards again, and the lines are going to start broadening and going wider as it goes up, okay? Just like you see here, it crossed and then on that first bar, and then it started, it started going up and the lines started going like this, okay? That's what you want to wait for. That is the perfect time to buy, okay? Now, you might be thinking to yourself, this is where I want to stop you right here, okay? You might be thinking to yourself, well, it looks like it's already on the bottom here, and it looks like it may be about to cross. Okay, but here's the thing, all right? You don't want to give in to that, and you don't want to buy there because you don't know for 100% fact. You don't even know for 90% fact or 75% fact that it's going to cross there. Because if we look again here, it did the same thing back here, back when it was right here, if you can see it, okay? Back when it was right here, it looked like it was about to cross as well, but it didn't. It kept going down further and further a little bit. So this is why it's very, very important that you make sure to wait until those lines cross, you guys. You have to wait for those lines to cross, all right? It's very, very important. So now we will move on to the next one. If all conditions are met, it's safe to buy in. So that's where you would definitely be safe to buy in, you guys. Once it starts to cross and it starts printing that first green bar, hey, it's always safe to buy in. And when I get through this checklist, I'm going to show you all these different examples. Okay. All right. So for selling, actually, you know what? I'll show examples for buy-ins, and then we'll go through the selling checklist, and then we'll show examples for selling. Okay. How about that? We'll do it that way. It's easier to do it that way. All right. So I will show you an example of buying. All right. So here's a perfect example. All right. I bought in down here. All right. I bought in down here. I clearly bought in when the lines crossed. First line right here. First green bar printed, I bought in, all right? And as we can see, I would have bought in at roughly around 39,450. Okay, so we will go to our percentage gain calculator, 39,450. We will enter that in, okay? And then obviously I would have sold. Okay, so maybe this isn't going to work. Maybe I need to talk about the selling on the checklist first because I haven't even gone through selling yet. Okay, so we'll talk about selling first. All right, so for selling is pretty easy. It's pretty self-explanatory. You're still using the MACD. But what you want to do is you want to wait until the MACD lines are above the volume bars and sell when the lines are about to cross back over to red again and it prints the first light green volume bar, okay? This overall, you guys, this indicates that the trend is losing momentum and is about to drop back again for another buy-in, okay? So here's what I mean by this, all right? I sold up here, okay? So obviously I just talked about buying. I bought right there. I ended up selling pretty much right up here, okay? What I always do is I always sell, see the green volume bars right here? I always sell on the very first lighter green volume bar. Okay, so when that volume bar starts to or turns to a lighter green, that pretty much means that the whole trend is losing momentum and it's about to start dropping again. That is when you want to sell. And obviously, I sold at the perfect time right there. So realistically here, you guys, I ended up selling at roughly 47,300. Okay, so 47,300. So this trade, this is where it gets interesting, okay, guys? This is why I swing trade like this instead of day trade, because here's the thing. It's a lot less risky, and you're not going to lose anywhere near as much money, if any money at all, if you're doing things properly. But here's the thing, you guys. I pretty much made this trade in, let's see, March 16th is when I bought in, and I sold on March 30th. So pretty much 15 days, you guys. So within a span of 2 weeks, okay? Within a span of 2 weeks, in a 2-week trade, I made roughly 19.9%. We'll just call it 20%, okay? I made about 20%, which is enormous, okay, guys? To make 20% in 2 weeks trying to day trade the market is extremely risky, and you'll probably end up losing more than you gain. So that is why I trade like this, midterm, and swing trading like this, this is why I prefer swing trading like this much better than I do with day trading, because it is much easier, and it's much easier to make money this way. It really is. And if you do a lot of these, you can easily make, 20 to 40% every single month with no issues whatsoever, you guys. It is super simple. It's not even funny. So guys, overall, that pretty much is it. As you guys can see here, as far as selling, you want to buy when these lines are crossing, and make sure these lines are below the volume bars, okay? You want to make sure the lines are below the volume bars, and you want to make sure that the lines are about to cross and that first green bar gets printed. Then you're going to buy in, okay? And selling, you want to make sure, wait until that first light green bar gets printed and then sell, okay? I'll show you another example of it real quick right here, okay? So volume bars, or the lines are currently under the volume bars, okay, obviously. And then the first green bar, the lines crossed, the first green bar got printed, I bought in, okay? So I would have bought in right around here probably. So roughly 37,940. So 37,940. And then obviously right here, guys. Now here's the thing, all right? You will have times where obviously this will happen. It prints the first green bar, but the conditions aren't met yet because the lines are still below the volume bars, okay? So all these conditions, this is what I'm talking about. All conditions have to be met, and you have to think about all conditions, because this might spoof some people, and this might, freak some people out, because they might actually end up accidentally selling here. You don't want to sell here because the lines are still below the, the overall volume bars. So obviously, guys, the lines here are above the volume bars, okay? Or they're right on them pretty much. So you wait until this very first light green bar, okay? And you sell right there at 44,000, pretty much 44,600, okay? So 44,600, okay? So you would have made roughly 17.5% within a matter of, let's see here, from January 29th to February 10th. So within a 10-day span, you just made another 17.5%, you guys. It's a lot of money, you guys. I mean, it really is. If you, if you're playing with some good money, you're going to make some good money back by trading this way. I mean, you really are. So overall, you guys, it's really, really set in stone. It's really easy to do. You have to have a strategy. You have to have a strategy put in place in order for it to work. This is my strategy. This is what I've been doing for the last 3 years. And it works out great for me. I mean, it really does. I see no reason to switch it up. Now, here's the thing, you guys. I know a lot of you have probably, here's the thing. There's a lot of strategies out there. There's a lot of people using all kinds of different strategies. My strategy might not work for somebody else. So, I mean, everything isn't going to work. There is no guaranteed strategy in the crypto market, okay? Something isn't going to always work for somebody else, okay? That's just how the world works, okay? I mean, I try things that my, ex-girlfriend used to do all the time, and I can't do them the way that she does them. So, it just goes to show that, what works for one person might not work for another person. So you have to keep that in mind when you're trading like this, or when you're trading with anybody's strategy for that matter. So, but other than that, you guys, I feel like I did a pretty darn good job of explaining this. I love talking about this stuff. So if you guys have any questions about it or anything, feel free to reach out to me on Twitter, you guys. I have no problems answering your questions whatsoever. But other than that, you guys, that pretty much does it for this video. So I will go ahead and wrap this one up. But again, guys, before you guys leave, don't forget to follow me on Twitter here with the link in the video description down below. And also, guys, if you haven't already, go ahead and take a minute to subscribe to the channel so that you never miss a new crypto and altcoin video from me on a regular basis. And hey, guys, with that said, thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you guys in my future videos or chatting with me here on Twitter.